What are we talking about? I mean, my Buckeyes are out. Your Big East take was shit. Villanova proved that they're ass.
We're picking.
You tried to tell me the Big East is better than the Big Ten earlier this year. The Big Ten has like 6 teams in the fucking Sweet 16.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
He did.
How many?
That.
What do you got?
He really did.
What do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, jeez. 5, 6. Okay. All right. Whatever, dude.
They have 6.
There's 6.
Yeah, is there actually 6? Yeah.
Yeah, there's 6. All right.
There also could be another. There could be like 4 out of the 8 in the Elite 8. Like very well be.
Yeah, potentially. All right, we're gonna pick spreads.
Well, the 2 worst
spreads and winners.
The two worst ones out of the 6 are playing each other. So there very well could be 4 out of those 6 in the Elite 8. The Big Ten could have 4, half the Elite 8 teams. That's fucking insane.
Well, UConn's gonna have.
Because someone's got to advance out of Nebraska and Iowa. That's fucking crazy. That either Nebraska or Iowa is gonna be in the Elite 8. No. The Big East is not going to have 2 of them. Do you really think the Johnnies are going to beat Duke?
No, actually, I want Duke too.
He wants that Duke.
You want UConn to play Duke?
My hatred for Duke runs way deeper.
Yeah. Really? Why?
I mean, the Johns have been
nothing for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
always hated Duke. Always hated Duke. All right, let's pick these.
You got to think UConn matches up better with the Johnnies than Duke, though.
Oh, of course. UConn beating Duke would be the greatest thing ever. That would almost feel better than the 2 national championships. All right, yeah. Let's pick some games. Let's pick some fucking games. Let's start her off.
You're gassing it, bro. Am I on camera?
Yeah, he's doing.
Yeah, bro.
He's
Like when he might do some push-ups, dude. Let's go.
Yeah.
What do we got for the first game?
Oh, yeah, first game, Thursday night, 7 o'clock. We got 11 Texas against 2 Purdue. Texas getting 6.5 points. I'm going to take both the spread and Purdue to win. Obviously, Texas has had a little bit of a miracle run going so far here. He's getting those push-ups in. Light work like Purdue over Texas. Dawson.
Oh, that's 450 on the day. I'm about to hit 500 easy. All right, I'm listening, though.
Yeah, what do you got? Texas or Purdue? 6.5. 2 Purdue. Or 2 Texas.
Texas. I'm not giving Purdue the spread there.
No, you got Texas?
Ohio State beat Purdue. Yeah, of course. I have Texas spread. I probably have Purdue money line. I think, the Cinderella kind of ends here. They got the 2 most experienced backcourt, 2 most experienced guards in the country. So, I think Purdue wins, but I think it's definitely closer than 6.5.
All right, Doss.
Yeah, yeah, I'm going to agree with Mikey here that they do have probably the most experienced backcourt in the country left in the tournament. But I'm going to look at their front court. Oscar Clough and Trey Kaufman-Renn played great against Miami. Vogatitis for Texas has kind of dominated the front court in these first 2 games against the Braden Huffless Gonzaga team and a BYU team that didn't really have a front court presence. So I'm going to take Purdue in the front court to cover the spread here.
All right.
Really?
Huh. Yeah, I just think they're more dominating down low. I mean, I like Vogatitis had 17 and 11 against Gonzaga. Had a big game against BYU. I don't think he does it again.
I will say, him being able to all of a sudden shoot free throws kind of does entice in that 6.5. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a 2v1. I'll take my odds. I think Purdue wins. I think Texas does cover though.
All right. Moving on to that Big Ten matchup, we got 9 Iowa against 4 Nebraska. This is all of our haters are going to be commenting on this video.
I guess this is the recap there.
The Nebraska fans are out for us. Nebraska giving Iowa 1.5, and yet again, I'm going to bet against Nebraska. Love all you guys in the comments. Iowa to cover and win. Give me my boy Stenson. And fuck Fred Hoiberg for the 3rd time. Love you haters. Mikey?
Yeah, so for me, I'm gonna take the opposite again. I'm gonna take Nebraska to win the game. Not sure about who's gonna cover. I mean, with such a little spread, I'll take Nebraska spread. But yeah, I think Nebraska wins. I think any team that Ohio State has beaten probably doesn't deserve to be in the Elite Eight. The only reason I took Purdue was because I don't think Texas has the juice. I think the Cinderella kind of run ends here for them. But that is why I have them covering, and that is why I have Nebraska beating Iowa. Like I said, Ohio State just beat Iowa about 2 weeks ago. And I think if Nebraska exposes them the way that they can be exposed in the way that they have been exposed by Big Ten opponents, I think Nebraska takes care of business and makes their first Elite Eight appearance.
Love that analysis. That's making me think here. I'm gonna put it down to simply who produces more corn. It's a big corn matchup here. Iowa is number one producer of corn in America. No, I'm not gonna actually say that. Ben McCollum completely Ben McCollum completely outcoached Todd Golden and the defending champs last week. Beat that defending champ Florida team. Bennett Sturts hasn't really played all that great during these first two games. He's only shooting a combined 28% from the floor, but did have 5 assists, 0 turnovers, and 5 rebounds. So he is contributing.
I totally said Stetson Bennett, by the way.
You definitely did say Stetson
They're gonna,
Bennett.
I'm going to get eaten
Bennett
alive for that
Sturts,
one.
Stetson Bennett.
I'm going to get eaten alive for that one.
Yeah, you might. I'm going to go to the coaching matchup here. Fred Hoiberg just won the biggest game of his life in this round of 32 game. He's now about to coach the next biggest game of his life. Does he do it again in back-to-back weeks? I don't know. I'm going to take Ben McCollum to just out-coach and win this game.
All right. Moving on. 9:45 on Thursday. We got 4 Arkansas against 1 Arizona. Arkansas getting 7.5 points. I think Arizona is overwhelmingly the better team, but that 7.5 is a big number for a big matchup. So I'm going to take Arkansas to cover, but Arizona to eke out a win. I think this is probably going to be the closest matchup, maybe besides maybe a UConn Michigan State or a Duke St. John's. I feel like the spread's just a little bit too big. What do we got, Mikey?
So this is one of those things where I think 7.5 is a big spread, but I think Vegas knows what they're doing with that. I think a lot of the people are going to be on Arkansas to cover, but as you said, Arizona is just such an amazing team. I think they're the much better team. Arkansas did win the SEC this year, but probably because Florida got knocked out by Vandy. I think that they wouldn't have won the SEC if they had to match up against Florida. A lot of flaws in that Arkansas team. They're hot. Like I said, won the SEC. Obviously played really well in their first 2 games of the tournament. But High Point had them on the ropes. Like, it could have went either way with 4 minutes left in that game. I think Arizona proves that they're the best team in the country. They've been absolutely dominating this tournament. They ended up beating Utah State by 12 points. And that Utah State team was a pretty good team. They beat your Nova Big East by a seed. So I'm gonna take Arizona with the win and the spread. I think Vegas has the spread exactly where they want it, and I think they're gonna make a lot of money on that game. Some people taking Arkansas to cover, but I think Arizona has the juice.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that this is probably going to be the best matchup of the Sweet 16. I think it just comes down to what Darius Acup does in this game. Probably the best player left in the tournament. Everyone's talking about, is he the best Calipari guard ever? I say yes.
We're not about to start this conversation, bro.
That's up for...
Do you think he's the best product that Calipari has produced?
Best guard.
Yeah, you know who produced Calipari? Derrick Rose produced Calipari. That's what happened.
Yep. All right, but that's the point. We're not talking about that right now. What we are talking about is an Arizona team that, has the Big 12 player in the year. Not sure how this guy won Big 12 player of the year in Jaden Bradley, but Jaden Bradley and Braden Burris, who are an exciting guard matchup, but they're also going to be matching up against Malik Thomas and Darius Acuff. I think the X factor for this spread is probably Anthony Del Orso, Arizona's sixth man, because probably the biggest contributor off the bench for them. Didn't really have a very good game against Utah State, only 3 points, 1 for 5 from 3. I'm going to take Arkansas to cover the 7.5, just because I think that, just based off of what Darius Acuff did in the final 4 minutes of that high point game, if he's got to just take over himself, he will. I go back to that Alabama game where he, took a 35-foot shot to tie the game to send it into overtime to give him about 50. So I'm going to take Arkansas plus 7.5.
I wouldn't mind if either I went 3-0 or 0-3. I don't want to see some split. I want to see either you guys being very wrong,
you're probably
being very right, or vice versa.
You're probably on the right side here, picking against me and Toss here with our luck.
Sick, dude. All right. To be fair, if you want to look at my last 8 picks, I was 6, or no, not my last 8 picks. Round of 32. Last 16 picks, I was 10-6, so I'm up 2 units technically speaking. I don't know if you did your whatever it's called.
No, I haven't added them up yet.
I might have. Technically, I'm up 2 units.
I don't condone gambling. I don't gamble anymore.
It's not gambling advice.
No.
Last game on Thursday at 10 o'clock, we got 3 Illinois against 2 Houston. Illinois getting 3.5. I'm huge on this Illinois team. Have been almost all year. Give me the 3.5 and Illinois to win.
Damn.
The Eastern Europeans. What can I say?
I got a bad feeling about what's going on here.
Well, yeah.
Mikey,
you got Mikey.
you go
Mikey's got
first.
Houston. Doss has Illinois. Is that what's about to happen?
Yeah, Mikey, you go ahead first.
Yeah, so obviously I'm a Big Ten advocate. I go to Ohio State. I said that the Big Ten can get 4 to 5 teams into the Elite Eight, but can and will are 2 different things for me. I just think Houston, I think they got to break through one of these seasons with one of my favorite coaches. And I think that Houston's going to beat them. I think that Houston's going to cover. I think it's going to be a very close game, but 3.5 points is enough to make a close game still cover. I think Houston wins by 5 or 6. But yeah, I think this is the year that Houston breaks through. I have them winning it all in a lot of my brackets. They're one of my favorite teams left in the field. So, especially with Florida out, I was hoping to get a Florida-Houston rematch potentially, but obviously Florida shit the bed. But I think Houston is going to break through one of these years, and I don't see why this year can't be, the year to do it. I think they have the best offense they've had under Kelvin Sampson. Obviously, their defense is always going to be great with his coaching style, but yeah, give me Houston to win, and I'll take the 3.5 as well for them.
Yeah, I definitely do want to credit Kelvin Sampson and this Houston team, but I do think that their chance was last year. Just really heartbreaking way to lose last year. It almost seems like what more can you do? And I think last year's team was a lot more experienced in the front court with Jawan Roberts. A younger JoJo Tugler, but Chris Sinak has played well during these first 2 games, but I don't think he's mature enough to go against the Ivisic brothers and this just much more experienced Illinois team, in my opinion. I think
Illinois'
that
best player is a freshman.
Yeah, I think they have a really good mix of, elite, upper class mentality when it comes to the Ivisic brothers. And you talk about Page, albeit he's a transfer, but they also do have Keen Wagler, who's probably going to be a top 20 pick, and they do have Ben Ummerkaus, who's a senior just facilitator for them. But bottom line, I'm still going to go Illinois plus 3.5 and to win, just because I don't think Chris Sinak's ready for. I think he's going to be a great NBA big. Don't get me wrong, but the Big Z and Tomislav are both playing at a really high level right now, and I think that just comes down to that.
Okay.
All right. Moving on to the Friday slate.
That's 4 against 4.
Yeah,
I know it's not good.
And
It's
it's not, and it really isn't. This is just
Yeah, this is just how it's going. Well, we'll see how this Friday slate goes. Starting
how these
off,
next four. Yeah.
yeah, starting off with the Johnnies against Duke. Johnny's getting 6.5. Uh, Even though I did jokingly say that there'll be two Big East teams, I've got the Johnnies covering, but I do have Duke coming out on top. I know you said the Arizona Arkansas game, has the potential to be the best of the Elite Eight, but this game could be an absolute thriller. I know the tickets to get into the Duke St. John's Michigan State UConn session is like the highest ticket price in March Madness history right now, and it would be insane to go. So I'm gonna take St. John's just to cover, and then Duke eke one out here. What do we got?
Yeah,
Mikey?
that's gonna be the first one that we agree on. I like St. John's to cover. I think Duke's close call in the first round really woke them up. They came out against TCU, absolutely beat the brakes off them. That game was never really close past 5 minutes left in the first half. So I think Duke. I think that with the fire they have lit under them, like I said, I think they woke up after the first round. I want to take St. John's so bad as an Italian. I love Rick Pitino. When you look past the scandals, I think he actually is a pretty decent guy. I saw the clip of him spending time with the fans after the game last game. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I like Rick Pitino. I like St. John's. I would like the New York City Big East team to get in there and beat Duke, but I just I don't see it happening. Especially Duke kind of got they got their tournament jitters in the first round against a 16 seed. Obviously, that's something that usually happens in the later rounds, but I think that really woke them up, and I think they come out firing. But I do like St. Johnny's to cover as well. But I think it's going to be a really close cover. I think it's either going to be Duke by 5 or 6, or it could go either way with them winning by 7 or 8 as well.
Yeah, I'm going to take Duke minus 6.5 for this. I'm worried about the Johnnies on the offensive end. I mean, Bryce Hopkins probably had his biggest game of the year. Hit 6 threes, 18 points. Does he do that again? I'm not too sure. They did let this Kansas team. They were up 13 points with 6 minutes left, but left this Kansas team. Let them stick around. Eventually, got the game tied up. If it wasn't for Dylan Darling doing what he did, talk about church bells, but it's tough to look at this Duke team who completely dismantled this TCU team earlier on. And, obviously they had their jitters against that Siena team, but that's neither here nor there either. I just don't think that St. John's replicates this offensive performance, even though it wasn't even that good of an offensive performance. I just think Duke is much more talented offensively, and I think they might. I think Johnny's might be in for a long night.
All right. Moving on to later on Friday night at 7:45, we got 4 Bama against 1 Michigan. Bama getting 9.5. Again, as soon as you give me a spread over like 7.5 in some of these like Elite Eight matchups, it's really hard to take the other team to cover. So again, I think Bama's gonna cover 9.5, even though I'm not in love with this Bama team. Had their struggles so far in the tournament. So give me Michigan to win, obviously, but I'll take Bama to cover.
Yeah, I'm an Ohio State guy, so it's obviously really hard for me to try and come here and pick Michigan, but I do think Michigan wins this game. I think they're the better team. I think Bama has been hot recently. I had to check their first round matchup because you just said that they've been struggling in the tournament, and I know I watched that Texas Tech game and they won by 25. They were up by 30 for a good while. And then I looked at the first round and they also won by 20. So I am going to have to fact check you on that one. I think Bama has been playing really well, but I do...
Those final scores, the Tech game, sure, but Hofstra early in that game was...
Yeah. They dominated in the Tech game. I think they actually didn't set because they set it last year, but they had the second most three-pointers made by a tournament team, right behind Alabama of last year. So, but that's the thing. Like they broke it last year, and then the very next round they lost by like 15. So if I'm not mistaken, so it's just a streaky team, especially when you rely so heavily on 3-point shooting. And I think Michigan has really suffocating perimeter defense. I've seen it against my team. So yeah, I got to take Michigan here, and I agree with you with the 9.5 take of, it's really hard to go the opposite way in a Sweet 16 matchup, especially when it's a 1 against a 4 seed. But that's how Vegas gets you, man. That's how Vegas gets you. I want to see Bama. I want to see Bama keep it close, but I think Vegas knows what they're doing with that line. I'm gonna go against you here and say Michigan does cover the 9.5. I know that the money's gonna be on Bama to spread to cover, but that's another reason why I think it might go the exact opposite way. So we'll see, though. I'm hoping for a good game. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going to take Michigan 9.5 there.
Yeah, I want to bring up that Texas Tech game because if you were to tell me that LeBaron Philon would shoot 2 for 12 from the field and they'd still win by 25 and still score 90 points, I'd tell you you're nuts. But you look at that box score, Latrell Whitesell, 24 points. Philon had 12 assists to only 4 turnovers. Pretty unreal for a scorer as gifted as he is. I'm going to take Bama plus 9.5 because I don't think Philon has an off night like that again. Plus, Michigan struggled, I'd say, for about 18 minutes during that St. Louis game. And, well, I do think that Michigan does win the game. I don't think that they pull away as comfortably if this Alabama team, let's say, goes up early, as we've seen them do, given their offense. So, yeah, I just don't think Michigan, I think they do squeak it out, but I don't think they dominate like they have been earlier on during this year.
All right. Moving on. Later on, 9:45, we got 3 Michigan State against 2 UConn. UConn giving Michigan State 1.5. Obviously going to be taking UConn spread. Game against UCLA was a little up and down, but late, they figured it out, put it together. So, I don't know. This Michigan State team's really good. So I'm not going to sit here and act like, UConn all the way, 1.5. But I feel like this UConn team, as these weeks have gone on, maybe aside from that St. John's Championship game, they've gotten better and better. Even without the production from Mullins, you saw a big game from Jalen Ross. Just all around, I think this UConn team's coming together. So give me the Huskies, obviously.
So obviously, I transferred from UConn. I know what the culture is. I know Dan Hurley is a fucking animal. And I also know what the fan base is like. I think this is going to be a home game for UConn. I think the Connecticut fans will take over and make DC store south, as they like to say in the tournament. Obviously, Michigan State's a great team. Tom Izzo's also a legendary coach. But, man, something about Dan Hurley in March. I just don't think UConn had the same talent they did last year as they do this year. I think that's why they stumbled against Florida. But you look at these last 3 years, and this isn't even biasy. Talking back-to-back national champions. They lost to the eventual national champion in Florida.
In a bullshit game last year.
By what?
Fuck that game.
By what? 2 or 3 points. They were winning the whole. They were winning the whole game. They didn't just have Florida on the ropes, but they really looked like they were going to pull it off for 38, 39 minutes of that game.
Yeah.
So they very well could have made it a deep run last year as well. I'm just a big believer in Dan Hurley in March. The culture that they got over there. I think UConn has what it takes to win it all again. So give me UConn. Obviously the 1.5. Probably gonna take UConn on that spread too. But yeah, I love Michigan State. Like I said, I think they're a great team. I would love to see the Big Ten crowd, the Elite Eight. But when you got UConn and Houston, those are 2 of my favorite teams left in the field. So I'm gonna take both of them.
Do we have any word on what Silas Demery is going to be at for this game?
What do you mean? Why would he not be playing? He played against UCLA.
Well, I'm saying he only played 21 minutes, though.
Oh, you're talking I assume there's probably going to be like
starting point guard.
Probably a little bit of an uptick in minutes, you'd assume. Still take 20 minutes. I mean,
you're
Yeah.
gonna take it, but is it not? Is it the
I,
31?
I
or 30 they usually
you
get?
assume it'll go up by Friday. I mean, that's 5 days in between. It's a lot of rest.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, obviously the story for UConn this tournament's been Terrace Reed. Obviously the 31 and 27 he had against Furman, and the double he had in the round of 32. I do have one player of concern, and it's Solo Ball. What does he do in this game? I mean,
Is he really
obviously
the only
Michigan
concern? Fucking Mullins.
That's my big concern after throwing up a
My big concern
donut.
is fucking Mullins get his fucking head
I'm
out
looking
of
at
his
the
ass.
box score. Why did he have 13 minutes last game? Why did Solo Ball play 13 minutes?
But he played like shit.
Yeah, he's not playing good.
Can't make a
They
shot.
just
Well, are you? How
I mean,
many?
he's
How
not
many
gonna
minutes?
get-
How many minutes did Mullins play? Are you looking?
yeah, Mullins played 32. He played almost the whole game.
Didn't Mullins have like 17 points too, though?
I mean, he didn't make a shot for like almost the entirety of the first half. I'm pretty sure he was still kind of.
Yeah, but Solo Ball didn't make a shot for the entirety of the whole game. All right, never mind. Besides the point. I think Jeremy Fears Jr. Had 16 assists on an off shooting night against Louisville. I think it's going to be the hardest big matchup all year for UConn. Jackson Kohler 6'11". I forget what the other guy's name is, but definitely the biggest team I think UConn's played. So I'm going to take Michigan State plus 1.5. I don't believe in this UConn team's guard play right now. I do believe in Jeremy Fears Jr. to play a good game. So one of us has to do it, right?
Yeah, no
so,
UConn
So you
bias
have
over
Michigan
there.
State. I'm assuming that's Michigan State money. line
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Look at the fucking flag behind him. Fucking,
Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna take Michigan State to win the game.
All right, last game
We'll
we
see how
got
that
here.
goes.
Yeah, last game we got here. We got 6 Tennessee against 2 Iowa State. Iowa State giving them 4.5 points. I love this Iowa State team, so I'm going to take them to cover and win. Obviously, this Tennessee team is a little bit of a surprise. They didn't play the greatest basketball all year. Definitely a crowded SEC, but it's a little surprising to see Tennessee here in the first place. So with that alone, I'll take Iowa State points and the money line.
Yeah, sometimes with these spreads, I don't really understand how Vegas comes up with them. This is one of those games that I would greatly think would be one of those 9.5 games,
Right.
especially the way Iowa State's been playing, beating teams by 20, 30, 40. Iowa State is absolutely dominating. They're also one of my favorite teams left in the tournament. I guess since I've been using that phrase so much, I'll just tell you guys it's Houston, UConn, and Iowa State. I think those are the 3 best teams left in the tournament. I know I have Arizona covering the 7.5 against Arkansas. I'm just not huge on Arkansas, especially since they won the SEC tournament. I think they're due to crash eventually, and I think that happens this weekend against an amazing Arizona team. But yeah, Iowa State is just absolutely playing lights out basketball. I think they cover that 4.5 easily, in my opinion. But Vegas always loves to surprise me, so we'll see.
Yeah, and not to mention that they beat the ever-living shit out of a $20 million Kentucky roster without their best player in Joshua Jefferson. So hopefully they get Joshua Jefferson back. He's a huge part of their game, obviously. Not that Blake Buchanan didn't step in and play great against Kentucky. He did. If you just look at the second half of that game, they won 51-33. Their largest deficit was only 7 points. Tamin Lipsey's probably, him and Emmanuel Sharp are probably the best defensive guards in the tournament left. I think this Tennessee team beat, I guess you can say, an overseeded UVA team when you look at some of these 4 seeds that are playing right now still. No shot to Ryan Odom. I think he's the man. I think he's going to be the right fit for that Virginia job. But I don't think Tennessee's all that good, really. Outside of Nate Ament, I don't really see much special about them. So I'm going to take Iowa State minus 4.5.
All right.
That's the first one we've all agreed on.
Well, that's
Finally.
good.
Watch that be the
What a
one
good-
we're all wrong on.
What a good way to end one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's an episode, and we'll be back for the Elite Eight.
Right.
Fucking
Peace.
yeah.
Perfect.
Smell you later, haters.